There's a lot sitting in front of the 49ers right now, and if you're just skimming headlines, it probably reads like, all right, another busy week. But if you actually listen to what's happening, it's louder than that. One quiet shift is changing what this offense can look like in January. One big-name defender just hit the market, and the idea of San Francisco being a fit comes with a very real catch. One NFC West rival is wobbling under the bright lights, and that opens a lane you'd love to exploit. And a young target for Brock Purdy is heating up at the exact moment you want it to. Before we get into it, hit like if you ride with the faithful, subscribe if you want daily Niners talk, and drop a comment right now. Heading into Week 18, what makes you feel best about this team? The offense? Or are you still looking at the defense like, that's the thing that could betray us? Early in the season, this story felt pretty simple. The 49ers were dealing with serious injuries, trying to find any kind of rhythm, and the offensive line, especially the interior, was getting a lot of the blame. Left guard felt like a revolving door. Center Jake Brendel heard it non-stop. And right guard Dominic Pooney, coming off that preseason ankle injury, looked like he was trending the wrong way. You could feel how fragile it was. One quick collapse inside and the whole plan got squeezed, and the run game just didn't have room to breathe. Fast forward to this 6-game win streak, and the tone is completely different. Quietly, the O-line went from the offense's biggest liability to one of Kyle Shanahan's biggest strengths, and people aren't watching it with the same skeptical eye they had in September. You can make a real case the line has been the catalyst for the offensive resurgence, because this group is averaging 42.3 points over its last 3 games. That doesn't happen if the pocket is chaos. And it doesn't happen if your quarterback is living in panic. Clean structure up front changes everything you're allowed to call. The timing matters too. Pooney finally got healthy around week 7, and that's when the rushing attack, unusually stagnant for a Shanahan team, started to gain traction with Christian McCaffrey. Then the numbers backed up what it looked like on Sundays. Heading into week 17 against Chicago, Pro Football Focus bumped San Francisco up to number 3 in its offensive line rankings. In the win over the Colts, the unit didn't allow a single sack or quarterback hit and surrendered just 5 quarterback hurries on 36 dropbacks. That's a 93.1 PFF pass blocking efficiency rating, second best in the league that week. And Colton McKivitz deserves real credit here. He's quietly putting together an excellent season. He earned an 85.7 overall grade against the Colts, and on the year he owns a 90.3 PFF run blocking grade, which ranks 4th among all offensive tackles. If you remember how often he was the scapegoat in past years, that's a serious narrative flip. And it matters because the playoffs will hunt whatever looks weakest. Right now, this line doesn't look like food. Now, yes, Trent Williams' hamstring injury against the Bears is the big cloud hovering over everything, and you're obviously hoping it's not a long-term issue. But San Francisco showed some real depth by putting swing tackle Austin Pleasance in Williams' place. And it worked well versus Chicago. Niners Nation's Kyle Posey said after Week 17, the 49ers O-line is peaking at the right time. Getting Williams back is huge for the playoff push, sure, but the bigger takeaway is straightforward. What used to be a problem isn't one anymore, and that's the kind of shift that changes what you can be in January. If you want even more San Francisco 49ers news, follow Niner Noise. Now here's where the conversation gets spicy, because it's about the defense and a gamble. The Dallas Cowboys released cornerback Trevon Diggs, their 2020 second-round pick, placing him on waivers Tuesday. With his remaining salary, he's unlikely to be claimed and is expected to hit free agency soon. CBS Sports' Tyler Sullivan listed 5 potential landing spots: the 49ers, Washington Commanders, Chicago Bears, New England Patriots, and Green Bay Packers. 4 of those teams, San Francisco included, are playoff bound, so you already know what happens next. Half the fan base calls it a smart late boost. The other half says it's a trap. And the warning label is obvious: health. Diggs has played just 8 games this season after spending time on injured reserve with concussion symptoms, though he did start Dallas's last 2 matchups. He also tore his ACL in 2023 and hasn't fully recaptured his previous form. In 2023, he posted career highs with an 80.7 defensive grade and 82.8 coverage grade from PFF. Since returning, those numbers have dipped. topping out at 56.6 for defense in 2024 and 62.4 for coverage in 2025. That's the reality you're weighing here. You're not buying a clean version. You're betting on a bounce back. So why even consider it this late? Because Week 18 is massive. The 49ers need a win over the Seattle Seahawks to secure the NFC West title, the conference's #1 seed, and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And even though San Francisco escaped with a win Sunday night, rookie quarterback Caleb Williams shredded the secondary for 330 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. That's not just a box score. Think about what that puts on tape. It gives future opponents a map. Sullivan's point was blunt. The offense is Super Bowl caliber, but the defense could be the thing that holds this franchise back. Coming into Week 18, the secondary is allowing opposing quarterbacks to post a 100.6 passer rating against it, 7th highest in the NFL. Add in the current injuries. Starting corner Renardo Green has been dealing with a neck injury and missed the last 2 games, and rookie corner Upton Stout is in the concussion protocol. And you understand why a risky roll of the dice like Diggs even becomes part of the conversation. And while that debate is boiling, the NFC West soap opera keeps delivering. In a weird twist entering Week 16, the 49ers and their fans found themselves rooting for a hated rival, the Seahawks, to beat another rival, the Rams, in a division showdown with major implications. Seattle did it, pulling off a thrilling overtime win, and that helped keep San Francisco's hopes for the #1 seed alive. Football has a funny way of doing that. But in a roundabout way, it might have cracked something in Los Angeles. Suddenly the Rams look like they're falling apart, and this shocking 2-game losing streak is either a wake-up call or proof they peaked too soon. After both the 49ers and Seahawks won in Week 17, the Rams lost the ability to claim the division, though seeding still mattered. And it was hard to find sportsbooks that didn't have Los Angeles at or near the top of Super Bowl odds. That was before Monday Night Football when Sean McVay and company went to Atlanta and lost 27-24 to the Falcons. Los Angeles fell behind 24-3 in the third quarter, then scrambled late, but it couldn't hide a 3-interception night from quarterback Matthew Stafford, a primetime performance that probably ended his MVP bid. Now at 11-5 and third place in the division, the Rams are still alive for the #5 seed, but they need help. A Seahawks win over the 49ers in Week 18, and a Rams win over the Arizona Cardinals in the finale. That's a lot of scoreboard watching for a team that not long ago looked like it had the conference picture in its hands. Sports Illustrated's Matt Verderame pointed out the ugly reality. The Rams likely end up the 6th seed after finishing 3rd in the NFC West, and the only way to avoid it is beating the Cardinals and getting a San Francisco loss at home to Seattle. If they're the 6th seed, that likely means a path that starts against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. The Rams have played Philly 3 times over the past 12 months and lost each time, including twice at Lincoln Financial Field, including in last season's divisional round. 2 weeks ago, it looked like the Rams might get to rest starters in Week 18. Now they're fighting just to avoid the kind of matchup history that haunts you. And finally, here's the piece that feels like it could swing a possession in a playoff game. Ricky Pearsall. It's been frustrating that the second-year wide receiver has been in and out of the lineup in what was supposed to be his real breakout season. But it's also a good thing he's put together back-to-back impressive outings when he's been available, because this offense is different when there's real speed stress on the field. Before his 1-game absence in Week 16, Pearsall was on fire in Week 15 against the Tennessee Titans, 6 catches for 96 yards, before aggravating a knee injury. Then in Week 17, he came back and posted 5 catches for 85 yards against the Bears, helping in that wild 42-38 win and setting the stage for the Week 18 showdown against Seattle. You know, the NFC West game that decides the division and the #1 seed. Yeah, pretty important. The 49ers are anticipating key returns, including tight end George Kittle, who missed Sunday's game with an ankle injury. Getting Kittle back matters, but Pearsall staying hot matters too, because he gives the offense a real field-stretching threat. That can open things up underneath for Purdy and company against a Seahawks defense that enters the week with the #2 scoring defense in the league. Earlier in the year, even when Pearsall wasn't piling up numbers, his presence still opened up opportunities for weapons like Christian McCaffrey to get involved in the receiving game. it helped too for Juwan Jennings, who doesn't have Pearsall's top-end speed. But if Pearsall is producing, not just running off coverage, the whole offense has a much easier time moving the ball. If you want even more San Francisco 49ers news, follow Niner Noise. And with the 49ers' defensive deficiencies on full display against Chicago, there's a real argument the offense might have to run full bore just to hand Seattle its fourth loss of the season, clinch the number 1 seed, and lock in home field throughout. So here's the bottom line. The line is peaking, the stakes are massive, and the margin is thin. Be honest. If you're Kyle Shanahan, what's your biggest worry going into Week 18? The defense holding up, or the offense having to play perfect to cover for it?